poem that I'm going to do is W.F. Marshall's The Talking Flea. Now the reason I'm doing this is because it's Halloween and the fairies is mentioned in it. So here we go. An older man from the mountain, and before he dug the spuds, he courted a great big woman with sweets and cinnamon buds. The man was as thin as a harrow, he could live in the latch of a door, and the woman, the more she was sonsy, she was light on her foot on the floor. Now the man knowed what he was doing when he courted big Rosie McDade, for she was a useful woman with a powerful lap with a spade. She was ground with a grape in a midden, she could run the legs of a foal. Aye, she was fit for the farmer in a place called Crockatole. Now the man, he got married to Rosie, and he fetched her home in a car, and he lit the lamp in the kitchen, for the place was as black as tar. He went out for to follow the cattle, and boys, I say, when he came in from the byre, his Rosie was fleeing away. Well, the man, by his name it was Daniel, fell till and he cried like a wean, for he knew that the fairies had Rosie, and how would he get her again? Well, he wasn't long on the blankets when he felt the bite of a flea, and he clapped his hand at his oysters, and boys, I say, when he catched the flea to kill it, he nearly gave with fright, for that says, "You don't excuse me, you're squeezing me far too tight." "Oh, holy St. Patrick, what are ye, based or Christian?" says Dan. "Oh, indeed," says I, "am a Christian, so please let me out of your hand. Sit up in the bed, ye boy, and hap yourself in a rug, and open your thumb and your finger, and let me lighten your lug." Well, Dan, he sat up on the blankets, and boys, I say, he didn't know where he was sitting. He was trembling for fear of the flea. "Oh, come now," it said, "be manly. I'm kindly, the more I'm wee. I'm not that scarce of a creature, an unsignified thing like me. I was turned to the flea by the fairies. The king himself done the job. Me that was rare to be manly, and me with rheumatics be called. But the more I'm fatigued with the happening, I have come in the dark and the rain. I have come to tell you about Rosie, and how will you get her again?" Well, boys, when he heard about Rosie, he pitched all the blankets away, leapt out of the bed like a lion, and boys, I say, "Mr. Sure," says he, "your honour, if me darling wee Rosie was back, the longest day we'd be living, the devil the flea would we crack." "Well now, Daniel, that's more nor this," and the critter says in his ear, "for I'm coming straight from Rosie to tell ye she's living, she's well, and she's near. She's under a grassy mullen convenient to Tatty Bog, with a canopin bed to lie on, and eating the best of prog." Now on Halloween Eve night, the fairies, when the moon begins to shine, there's a camel's match at Fermus, and they'll not leave her behind. She'll be coming there a-sitting on a colt as white as snow, and the fairies will be dancing, so they'll have to travel slow. And there's your chance, ye boy, when they're passing by the lane. Be sure to reach for Rosie, and hold your might and main. Wrap both your arms around her, and hold them to the lock. And hold her, Daniel, hold her to 12 o'clock. And for God's sake, don't dare name it to man, nor beast, nor bird, for the fairies said they'd kill her if the Duke she sent you word. Now, that was all from the inside. And boys, I say, wasn't Daniel glad to hear it? That rare discourse from a flea. Now here now, if you'll have it, I'll bestow you the half of the fire. And the full of your mouth for your supper, you can have it here under my arm. Well, the flea was to feed and hopped it, and Don had a fortnight to wait. And I'll tell ye, he went right nearly down the wee lane to the gate. And there, at the stroke of 11, his son, see big Rosie, he seen, with the fairies before and behind her, and her cocked up like a queen. Then Don made a drum for his Rosie, and that's what started the fun. Well, you never seen such a handling since ever the day had begun. The fairies went raging around him. The king himself let us squeal. And they turned her into a salmon, aye, and they turned her into a nail. They turned her into a greyhound, and they turned her into a duck. But no matter how they turned her, his heart was never broke. Then they turned her into a bonfire, and boys, I say, it was hard to for Don to hug her, and her still blazing away. But he wrapped his arms around her and cursed them help nor held, for the blessing of God was with him, for he held his heart to 12. The minute the clock had struck it, the colt began to jog, and the rout 3 rounds and headed back to Carrigainbog. And Dan was left with his Rosie, and boys, I say, he had something in under his oxter, far better nor more than a flea. Well, here now, that's the story about Don the farmer that came from Crockatole, and the story about Rosie, the woman the fairy stole. But here now, if they kept their promise to that wee Talking Flea, the two of them had some scratching. Boys, I say, thank you very much.